Do you believe that something as innocent as a shopping trip could seal your fate? Have you ever purchased something cursed? This isn't just a story, it's a warning. But beware, this tale isn't for the faint-hearted. Can you handle the truth hidden behind a simple holiday bargain? I doubt you'll make it to the end, but if you do, you'll never love it shopping the same way again. It was a crisp winter evening, the day before Christmas, when the streets transformed into a festive wonderland. The city was alive with twinkling lights, the air filled with the sweet scent of roasted chestnuts and cinnamon. Emily Carter, a lover of all things vintage, held Michael's hand tightly as they strolled through the crowded holiday market. Everything felt perfect, or so it seemed. But beneath the cheerful laughter and glowing decorations, something sinister stirred, hidden in plain sight. They meandered through the lively stalls, passing by vendors selling handmade crafts, glistening ornaments, and warm pastries. Emily's excitement was palpable as she searched for something unique, a treasure she could cherish. But as they walked, a cold breeze cut through the festive warmth, sending a shiver down her spine. Then she saw it. A booth unlike any other, cloaked in dark, tattered fabric, tucked into the shadowy corner of the market. Its sign creaked in the wind. Treasures of the past, one-of-a-kind finds. Unlike the vibrant stalls around it, this booth radiated an eerie stillness. Emily felt drawn to it, as if it called to her. "Emily, let's go. This place gives me the creeps," Michael urged, but she barely heard him. Her gaze was locked on a small silver locket displayed on a velvet cloth. The intricate design shimmered faintly, almost like it was breathing. The vendor appeared suddenly, his gaunt face pale, his eyes sunken and hollow. His voice was like dry leaves brushing against pavement. "You have an eye for the extraordinary," he said, his lips curling into a ghostly smile. "But be warned, this locket carries a history." Emily, mesmerized, asked, "What kind of history?" His smile faded, a tragic one. Despite the vendor's warning, Emily couldn't resist. She purchased the locket, ignoring the growing unease in her chest. As the vendor's cold fingers brushed hers, he whispered, "What's bought with curiosity must be kept with caution." Michael frowned as they walked away. "Why would you buy something like that? It's creepy." Emily shrugged, brushing off the tension. "It's just a locket." But deep down she felt it too. Something wasn't right. That night, as they settled in their cozy apartment, Emily examined the locket again. She ran her fingers over the intricate design, feeling an unnatural chill seep into her skin. She clasped it around her neck and admired it in the mirror. But as she turned away, she noticed her reflection didn't move. She froze. The image in the mirror remained, staring back at her with lifeless eyes. Then, with a flicker, it mimicked her movements again. Emily let out a shaky breath. "I must be imagining things," she whispered. But she wasn't. At exactly 3:00 a.m., the whispers began. "Give it back." Emily jolted awake, her heart pounding. She sat up, straining to hear over the silence. There it was again. "Give it back, all suffer." She shook Michael awake. "Did you hear that?" Michael groaned. "It's just a dream. Go back to sleep." But it wasn't a dream. The locket's chill intensified, as if it was draining the warmth from her body. The next morning, dark circles shadowed Emily's eyes. She tried to convince herself it was stress, but deep down she knew something malevolent had followed her home. The whispers grew louder each night. Objects moved on their own. The air turned icy cold. The locket felt heavier, almost like a noose around her neck. It wouldn't come off. No matter how hard Michael tried, the clasp remained locked, as if it were alive. In desperation, it returned to the market. But the booth was gone. The space where it once stood was empty. Emily trembled. It's like it was never there. Michael held her close. "We'll figure this out." But the locket had other plans. That night, Emily awoke to find Michael missing. She frantically searched the apartment, only to find him standing in the living room, eyes glazed over, whispering, "Give it back." The ghost's true desire. Terrified, Emily realized that the spirit wasn't just angry, it was desperate. She pieced together the locket's history. It belonged to a young woman who had been wronged, murdered on Christmas Eve, a soul trapped in the locket, cursed to relive the torment. The only way to break the curse was to acknowledge her pain. Emily whispered, "I'm sorry for what happened to you." The locket grew warm and the ghostly presence softened. Michael snapped out of his trance. The locket unclasped, falling to the floor in ashes. What lesson do you learn from this story? In the rush of holiday cheer, we often forget that the past lingers, waiting to be acknowledged. This story is more than a tale of ghosts and curses. It's a reminder of the dangers of ignorance and the power of empathy. Sometimes, the things we buy, objects that seem harmless, carry unseen histories, scars of pain, loss, and longing. The locket wasn't just cursed by a ghost seeking revenge. It was a cry for recognition, for the truth to be heard, and for justice to finally be served. We live in a world where people's stories are often dismissed or forgotten, especially those who have suffered in silence. The ghost wasn't evil, it was broken, longing for release. Emily's journey teaches us that facing the darkness is the first step toward finding peace, not only for the restless spirit but for ourselves. Had Emily ignored the whispers, she might have been consumed by fear, but by showing compassion, she broke the cycle of vengeance. In acknowledging the ghost's pain, she did what others had failed to do. She listened, and in doing so, she freed both the spirit and herself. We must remember that even the most beautiful things, like a holiday locket, can carry a darkness we don't understand. In life, empathy can be the key to breaking the chains of the past. It can heal wounds that have festered for years and can prevent new ones from forming. Ask yourself, how often do we pass by someone in pain, ignoring their suffering? How often do we choose to listen with our hearts, not just our ears? The true horror is not in the haunting itself, but in the ignorance that allows suffering to linger. By opening our eyes and hearts, we can prevent such tragedies from repeating. So, the next time you purchase something that feels a little too heavy with history or hear a whisper from the shadows, remember, maybe, just maybe, it's asking for your understanding, not your fear. If this story gave you chills or made you think differently about the unseen, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more bone-chilling tales. But remember, sometimes the scariest hauntings are the ones we never see.